All right, recording is starting. Thank you so much, you guys, for getting on live. I want to thank Anne and Cheri for both getting on and talking about their experience. Anne is going to talk to us about her experience at Platinum Edge and some of her takeaways that she had. And Cheri is going to talk to us about her Super Saturday, where she got to go spend it with Christine Dwyer and Danielle Natoni. So she's going to talk to us about some of the training that she had. And I'm going to let Anne go first and see what she's got for us. Go ahead.
Perfect. Thanks, Kimberly. Okay, so this was my second year at Platinum Edge in Dallas, and I have loved it both years. So definitely, if you haven't gone, you need to go. It's fantastic. So it was really hard to narrow down which speaker I wanted to talk about because there were a ton of good takeaways. But the theme this year really seemed to be about social media and like doing you and being authentic and presenting you and not trying to be somebody else. So there was a coach named Tracy Warren and I made a ton of notes for myself. So if I'm looking down a lot, that's because I don't want to miss anything. Tracy Warren talked about how to effectively share your story so that people connect with you. And she, like I said, she started talking a lot about how social media is really scary. And it's scary to share your story and to be open and to be honest and to be vulnerable because you're always afraid of what people are going to think and if they're going to judge you and, they're going to laugh at you or talk about you or whatever. And we all know, the people who don't get you, they're not your people. It doesn't matter, but it's still scary. So she talked a lot about the fact that you have to get over that fear because when you do show yourself, the people that find you are your people. They are the people just like you. They're the people that need your message. So rather than putting all of the surface information into your posts and just being really vague and general, you want to really, Mari Smith actually said, go an inch wide and a mile deep. So really go deep with things. Don't just give the surface information, but kind of give all of you. And that's what really helps people to feel like they know you. And like we all know, when people know, like, and trust you, that's when they come to you with their questions and when they ask for advice, when they eventually join you, that kind of thing. So she talked about being raw and being real and open and honest and vulnerable and not afraid of showing your imperfections because, as we all know, perfection isn't real. Perfection is not what inspires. Imperfection is what inspires people, and how you deal with the things that come up and the struggles that you have and all of the things that are kind of trying to hold you back. How you deal with them is really how people connect with you. So she gave 4 steps to kind of crafting your perfect story, your perfect post. So I'm actually going to have you guys kind of go through this exercise like we did. So make sure you have a pen and paper, and here were her steps. So she said you really want to start with something attention grabbing so that they want to find out the rest. So we all know that, you'll see a post sometimes and you have to click it to expand it and see what's there. And sometimes it's like, oh my God, I don't have the time to read all of this. But if the first line is something really, attention grabbing, really entertaining, even if you might not have had time for somebody else, you're going to have time for, that particular post if that first line really grabs your attention. So the first thing she said, so this is your first step of your 4 steps, write down at least 5 things that make you amazing. And this could be things that you think, things that other people think, big things, small things, it doesn't matter. It can be things, from as big as being a wife, being a mom, being a grandma, being whatever, to, something as small as, figuring out how to cook something that you could never cook before or whatever, anything big, small, whatever. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of time to think about those at least 5 things that make you amazing. And since there's just you two on live, you can kind of tell me when you're ready to rock.
5 things. Did they like have you ask anybody, like friends of yours that could kind of give a little input, like their opinion, or not really?
Well, just during her presentation, she didn't, but you know, she gave us a few minutes and she was like, come back to it if you need to.
Okay.
You know, so things like, you know, being a military vet, or, you know, like I said, being a spouse, a mom, you know, college graduate, you know, moving across the country to do something, quitting your job to chase your dream, holding the door for somebody, you know, I mean, big, little, doesn't matter.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I mean, I think I put something as little as like, you know, making a point a couple times a month to visit an old neighbor who's in a nursing home. Like, it's not a huge accomplishment, but it's something that I know that she enjoys. So
it's big to her. Yeah.
Right. Yep.
I would probably have to put calling my grandma then.
Perfect.
She is on the phone for 2 hours if I do that.
And then for the second part, she said, what did I overcome to get there? So, you know, if you are somebody who came from a tough background and you ended up getting a college education, or, you know, somebody who dealt with a diagnosis and you were able to overcome it, or, you know, something like that. So 5 things that you kind of overcame to get to where you are. You know, even things like self-doubt, or negativity, or, you know, unsupportive family who didn't believe. What's that?
That's a hard question.
Those are deep.
Are you saying like things that we overcame to get to the 5 things that we just wrote before?
Yes. Yep. Or just 5 things in general. I mean, kind of up to you.
Some of the things that, okay.
I'm gonna look back and kind of see. So she talked about things like fear of change. Like, if, you know, somebody who quit their job to become a coach, if you were afraid of failure, if you're afraid of change, you know, if you were limited resources or limited time, if you were somebody who in the past you had trouble sticking to something, you would start something and quit something again and again, but you stuck with something. I wrote down my tendency to be too OCD and try to make things perfect before I do anything with them, trying to get past that and just, you know, like we've said, you write a post and you want to make it perfect, just post it, and nobody else knows that you don't think it's perfect.
That's the truth. Some of my worst, the ones I think are awful, is the one I get the most action on.
You're like, is this a sympathy like, or what? Excuse me. All right. And then number 3, at least 5 top defining moments in your life.
Oh, gosh. How many? You said 3?
At least 5.
Oh,
At least 5 top defining moments in your life. Big, small, whatever. So even, I mean, like I said, and a lot of these can overlap. You know, if it's like a college graduation, high school graduation, it could be a birth, a death, a marriage, a divorce.
Yeah.
That. Even things like if you're a coach and you go to your first live event, your first Super Saturday, first Platinum Edge, things like that can kind of be defining in your business. Books you read that kind of made a big impact, or things like redefining your faith, or
Could be like a baptism. That'd be kind of fun, you know, those public ones. I haven't done it yet, but I will.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then the last one was your top 3 messages to family and friends. Like she talked about your brand or your message, or like if a plane were going down, what would you want people to know as like your last message? So,
gosh, that's great.
So like one of the ones I've done, because like I had said, this whole do you, don't worry about anyone else, et cetera, was be yourself, love yourself, and never let anyone make you feel differently.
Okay.
Can you say that again?
I think so. I kind of paraphrased. Be yourself, love yourself, and never let anyone make you feel differently.
That's the hard one. I struggle with that last one.
I always say I need a thicker skin. But
me too.
Yeah, taking things.
But then we probably couldn't do what we do as well as we do it if we didn't have that.
That's true.
Soft edge as well. Okay, so then you plug all of that information into a sort of a template and share it. And then you see how it does and you tweak it and you share it again. So like her example was, it had a lot to do with pregnancy and postpartum depression and eating disorders in the past and things like that. So her opening line was like, I never thought that I would be a threat to the lives of my children or something like that. And then she talked about how she said, you kind of back up and you share the story, you know, so when I was younger, this is what happened. And then as I got older, here is kind of how this developed into this issue. And here's how I kind of solved this problem. And that's kind of your message with, you know, I learned that this, and this is how I coped. And this is, you know, I learned that this is how I can succeed still. And then at the end, you give kind of your message. Like, if you don't take away anything else from my story, please know that, you know, you can overcome past obstacles and, you know, your habits to create new ones that, you know, whatever. And then at the end, just like everything, kind of a call to action. So, you know, now that you've heard all of this, please, you know, comment here with whatever, or share this message with somebody that needs to hear it, or something like that. So she, you know, just talked a lot about how you have to, and we hear this a lot too, you know, you want to take your mess and show people how you've kind of overcome it and how they could kind of do the same thing. Maybe not in the midst of the mess, because you kind of want to wait till the end when you've got it figured out. But does that sort of make sense as far as? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just kind of crafting and wording it right, you know?
Yeah. And I wish I thought I had a screenshot of the exact story that she had written out to share that, and I couldn't find it. So, but maybe I'll have to check with Jess and Chrissy and see if they have one, and then I could comment, or one of them could comment with it underneath this too.
Yeah, that'd be great. Awesome.
So, and then, okay, so that was all of the information that I wanted to share that Tracy kind of shared. But I also had, now I don't know if I can find it, I had just kind of a list of my main, like some little nuggets, some kind of tidbits from all the different coaches that I thought were really kind of helpful. So, okay. So there was one gal who talked, who was, I think, kind of a motivational speaker, positivity mindset. She said, you cannot change your life unless you change something you do every day. Tulin Emery is a coach, And she is one who talked a lot about the fact that she was broke and homeless and living in a car with her kids. And she's the one who I think started doing Insanity and was like sidestepping because that was kind of all that she could do when she started. She said, focus on the journey without being worried about a specific destination. And that kind of applies to fitness and nutrition and coaching and everything. Because we get so hung up on that end point that if we're not there, we get so frustrated versus just focusing on, okay, today I did what I needed to do. So, it's a success.
Okay, so say that one again, focus on the journey without
being worried about a specific destination.
Okay.
And then Megan Eggleston, I think that's how you say her last name. Mm-hmm. She said, even if your business doesn't grow as fast as you want, if you're improving yourself every day, you're coming out ahead. So it's kind of that same idea. You're doing your workout, you're drinking your shake, you're doing your personal development, you're connecting with people and adding value. So even if, I'll read it again, even if your business doesn't grow as fast as you want, if you're improving yourself every day, you're coming out ahead.
I'm sorry, I'm going to ask you to say that one more time. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Even if your business doesn't grow as fast as you want, if you're improving yourself every day, you're coming out ahead.
You're coming out ahead. Awesome.
And then Lori Stewart is another coach. And I think she was one of the top coaches there last year. I thought I remembered her being on stage, but this year she looked awesome. And I know it's not about being a certain size or a weight or whatever, being skinny, but she just looked like glowingly happy. So you can tell that she's kind of done something different within the last year. She said, you are the most important person. Keep focusing on you. You are the secret sauce. So it's kind of that idea that focusing on yourself has to come first, because if you're not helping yourself, you're not going to help anyone else. She said, you are the most important person. Keep focusing on you. You are the secret sauce. And then Danielle Natoni, and I sort of already mentioned this, but she said, you are not for everybody, and that's okay. You are for your tribe, so provide them with value and forget the rest. And then two more. Tiffany Lee Bymaster, or Coach Glitter. She talked a lot about social media and videos and that kind of thing. And she said, don't try to be Barbie if you're not Barbie. And, we know that. Do you. Don't try to be someone you're not. But I just thought it was a cute way to say it. And then the last one, Andrea Crowder, said, make your vision so clear that your fears become irrelevant. And I know that trips a lot of people up. We worry about what are people going to think, and what if people say no, and whatever. People are going to say no, and they're going to think what they want to think, and it doesn't matter. It's none of your business what people think about you. Yeah. So don't worry about it. Just she said.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to repeat it one more time. If your vision is that clear, your fears are irrelevant. It doesn't matter what they think. So. And, I can sit here and say this, and that doesn't mean that it's easy for me to do. But we all know it's what we should do.
Yeah. I was just listening to Bob Heilig again today. I really love his podcast. I was going to make a little plug for that in the call here, too. But he said, you know what? Other people's opinions don't pay my bills. So make your vision so rock solid, because you need to pay your bills. Because that's what depends on it. I don't know. I thought that was really good. Other people's opinions don't pay your bills. So what was that last one again? Make your vision so clear
that your fears become irrelevant.
Okay.
Bob Heilig just posted something today too on your naysayers. And so that's something that I haven't watched it yet, but he was kind of probably along that same lines.
Yeah, I really do need to make a little plug for his here. I'll just do it right now. So if anybody is watching this recording, I've started, well, he was on Shalene's podcast not very long ago.
That's, I think, where I
And he talked about, he's your virtual upline is what it is. And this is what it, I don't know if you guys can see. Is that coming in clear? That's him right there. So look that podcast up, and he's fantastic. Follow him on Facebook. He's fantastic. Heilig is Heilig, right?
Yep.
Okay. So he's a great one. I mean, he's not specific to Beachbody. He's just talking, he's been in network marketing. So he's awesome to listen to. So I'm definitely going to be, he's got free trainings on his website. So I'm going to be plugging into some of that. So anyway, that was just a little plug that I wanted to talk about since Ann talked about making your vision so clear, because it really triggered that. So that was good.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you so much, Ann.
All right. So I'm going to do a little screen share. I was able to attend the Super Saturday in Atlanta. And the reason why I did that was because we had some really awesome speakers. They had Danielle Natoni, which of course, I mean, I just love to hear her speak because she's so confident and on point with a lot of things. But she's also, I've learned the more I hear her talk about her business, she's very strategic in her business. So I went down to see her, and then also our founding coach, Christine Dwyer, which, by the way, I found out that this was the first Super Saturday she's ever talked at. I couldn't believe it. I was like, when I met her, and I was like, no one's invited you to a Super Saturday? And she's like, nope, this was my first one. And I was like, oh my God. So anyway, I did do a quick I want to do a screen share because I did make a couple slides because it might be easier for you guys. I had some scripts and stuff. So I'm going to try to get through this quickly and go from there. So, all right, hopefully this will work. Let's see if this is going to work. Can you guys see that okay?
Yeah.
I don't know how to make it a full screen, but
that's okay.
Maybe, I see. Play it. There we go. Okay. So here's my little title page. Yippee. Okay. So Danielle Natoni was the very first speaker, and she talked about, it was all about core de force and basically launching your marketing plan and attraction marketing, and then basically failing to launch. And that's what a lot of coaches struggle with. I know I do. Even with this program, I don't think I did a great job. After going to this training, I was like, oh, dude, no. Okay, so her thing is she's got a pregame philosophy. So this is called attraction marketing. So this is where with your pregame, you're going to start with the sneak peeks. She says, I do not care if you don't think you're going to like the program. She's like, you have got to do the sneak peeks. You need to put it on a video or definitely at least a picture of you doing it, of something. She's like, but she's huge into videos, guys, too, which she just says that with Facebook, everything live is just attracting people left and right. But so she says, you've got to go into this knowing that when a sneak peek comes, even if you're in the middle of a program, you drop everything and you do the sneak peek. And she emphasized again that every program is not about you, but you've got to try it. So if you are going to be an effective coach, the minute it drops, you're doing that challenge with your challenge group. So she's like, she was against country heat. She's like, nope, I'm going to hate it. I'm going to hate it. I'm going to hate it. Well, guess what? She's a master trainer in country heat now. And she taught us that weekend, last Saturday. And she was amazing. I tell you, she's a great trainer. But the bottom line is you got to at least do it once fully through, she says, with your challenge group, because it just energizes everybody, and then they basically see what you're doing, and I'll go into this a little later, but then it moves you into another challenge group. The other thing she wanted to point out with the sneak peeks is, oh, you've got to write everything on your calendar. You need to write the sneak peeks on your calendar, when they're going to be, so you know exactly what day you're going to do them. And then when we're ready to launch, you already have to have your start date. You should have your start date of your challenge group like a month in advance. I think she even plans her programs a year in advance, no joke. She mentioned that between now and at least the spring, she knows exactly what workout she's doing every month. And she's a big coach on only doing 30 days. So she will only do 30 days of 225. Then she moves in to 21-day fix. Then she moves in, and so it's just 30-day increments. Number 2, go live. Go live. Live. She said you have got to go live on everything with a new launch. Go live on the sneak peeks. She says the minute you get that box, she also says that I know a lot of coaches want to get just the downloads, the Beachbody On Demand downloads, but she says there's a key to having the actual box with the program, because you can actually do a live unveiling. So open up the box, explain to them what they're getting. So, you know, I know some coaches don't want to do that. Now we have this opportunity with Beachbody On Demand, but it's still good for, you know, to show people. And then she also mentioned to go live, basically through the whole entire program. She's like, or at least put a video up. Putting a video up, and she literally showed us on her video. And this is kind of a boring. Oh shoot, where did I was going to stop the screen share for a second, but anyway, she basically said that she will put on her YouTube videos week 1, day 1. Week 1, day 2, week 1, day 3. So they know that she is following it to a T, and it could be a quick snippet. They emphasize less than 3 minutes. Everything's got to be less than 3 minutes. Quick, in and out, but people see that you're doing it. It's on your page. It's in your challenge groups, and you're good to go. The last point is Google Forms. They said same thing. She uses Google Forms to collect their information and to make them for every single program that you have, that you're doing. So every month, create a Google form and put it when you're doing a post, and put it in that post. Now, here are the questions she uses, and I can't remember. Did I do that for the second page? No, I did not. Okay, but I don't know why I'm not seeing my cursor on here. Sorry, guys. I'm not quite sure what's going on. But anyway, she mentioned with the questions on their Google Forms, she uses obviously their name, their email address. The first question she has is, what are their goals? The big question she puts right out there is what flavor of Shakeology they will be drinking, because she says that's it. They need to know going into the Google Forms they are going to be drinking Shakeology. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. She just puts the flavors, the combo packs. You got to choose one. There's no other. That's it. And then the other question she has is, are you interested in hearing more about coaching? And then the last question she has is, why do you want to work with me? And she said the bottom line is, it's really not for you to read. It's just, it sells them more on you. When they're writing about you, it's getting it in their head. It's like, I love this person as my coach. And then the cool thing about Google Forms is that you can filter the forms by the questions. So you can separate the questions, and then you can send out your blast of emails with different responses. You know what I mean? So if some people have chocolate Shakeology, you can separate it like that and direct it to that. If they have vegan and so forth.
So who's she sending this Google Forms to? Her challengers?
No, she's posting on the post.
Oh.
Yeah, she's using Google Forms to attract people. Yeah. She also said she uses Bitly to shorten her links with Google Forms and stuff. She uses the Bitly. And also any other link she uses that. And I guess it's free. I'm not familiar with it. I mean, I see it all the time, but she's big on that, she said. And to put, when you post about a launch, about a new product, and basically anything, do not use stock photos. Do not use quarter 4 stock photos we love Jericho and Joel, but it's got to be you. She's like, put your face, you sweaty, you in a workout outfit, whatever you're doing, put your, arms up, showing your guns. And then she says, of course, the link to your post or the link to, maybe your event. And then of course the Google form. Okay. So then we're moving into game day. This is something that was really interesting too. She said, breathe. So many coaches go into this thinking, I've got to be up at, such and such a time. I've got to be on the computer to order right away. She actually does not do that. She waits till the evening to order her programs. Mm-hmm. She said, because there are so many glitches. Mm-hmm. She said in the beginning of her business, she felt like she was a mad woman. She looked like a goofball of a coach because there was issues when they couldn't get things ordered. People were upset. And she finally decided, you know what? Forget this. So she said, even though we dropped the challenge packs yesterday, she said, I wasn't telling anyone till like November 1st. Mm-hmm. She said, that was my date. And even again, she says November 1st in the evenings or November 2nd. And she said, because they're going to get them. It's just, I don't want them going into it with the website locked up, with issues with calling coach relations and all that junk. So she actually waits. So that's breathe. Specific emails. She says she uses and I'm not familiar with this either, but she uses the coach link generator. Have you guys heard that? It's in the back office, but it's a coach link generator, and she uses this, and it takes you to the exact link of the program, and then you can add your coach ID. So they don't have to go through all of your website to order. They just can go. That's it. You send them, this is the challenge pack. Here you go. Here's the link. Order away, and you're good to go. And then if they don't see her coach ID or her name, they can actually go to a drop-down menu on there and change the name. Again, I have to practice this. This is something new that I didn't know about. So, and then she always tells her people that say they're going to order to make sure that they send her the confirmation email they get. She said, because if there's any issues, she can take them out of being the middleman. She can call in coach relations because she's got their email, their address, their order number, everything. And she can take care of it for them without them even knowing. Number 4 is follow-up. Follow-up, oh, let me change that. This is a script she uses, the follow-up. So after she's connecting with people and so forth, this is what she wrote. She said, hey, Monday and Tuesday, I will send out an email reminder that the program is ready for purchase. After you purchase, please forward me your confirmation so I can add you to my list for the group. So again, it's super simple, but that's what she uses to follow up with people. She's pretty straightforward too. Okay, and the next one is post-game day. So here we are, everything's ordered. Now we're focusing more on the challenge groups and everything. She mentioned that she uses nothing now but the Beachbody challenge tracker. She said that she is moving away from Facebook challenge groups because, now I don't know, she's probably got more of the inside track with this, but she says that she thinks that Facebook will soon be charging us to have groups. And we need to move away from that and utilize our challenge tracker app. And right now, with the challenge tracker app, you can post pictures, you can do everything, you can even program your posts. You can program your posts on that. I think the only problem is the video. You can't do any video on the channel, which I'm sure they're going to be working on that. But at this point, I don't think they can do any live video. But other than that, I don't know how much people do live video. Maybe once a week, but at least if you have everything else, and then you get their emails. That's her big thing, is getting the emails for her tracking system. Number 2 is public posts. Again, I mentioned before, her posts she literally posts Every day it'll say week 1, day 1, week 2, day 2. And she does it on her challenge group. She does it on her main page, on her like page. She blasts it.
Cheri, do you follow Danielle on Snapchat?
I don't. I'm just getting into Snapchat.
She posts like a million, like it's obnoxious how much she posts on Snapchat, but that's for real. Like every single day, like her workout and all this, it's every day.
Yeah, I kind of gathered that from her, but I couldn't do it that much. But good for her. Good for her. She definitely encourages about your story and just, documenting your life and stuff.
Yeah.
And then what she says is the reason why the public posts are so important and the way she does it is because it revs people up for the second round, the second challenge group. So she's already preparing and she's looking forward. Like I think she mentioned she's doing quarter 4. She's starting on November 14th, but she's already preparing that her second round will be in January. So she's getting everybody going, super excited. What's she doing and all this stuff. And then she's already got that planned for January 9th, quarter force. Again, her biggest thing is do the workout with your challengers. That's why she plans her workouts now and she promotes. And it's easier for you to promote when you know the program you're going to do. So that's her thing with that. Okay, so that was Danielle. Now we're going to move in really quick. I don't know how much time I have. I want to make sure I get this in because Christine Dwyer had some really good stuff. And I'm going to be honest, Christine, what she stated was probably almost verbatim what Bob Helig talked about last week with invite strategies. And again, I'm going to go back to Bob Helig because I'm really hot on him right now. Like I'm in love with him. Not only is he good looking, but like, so he's easy on the eyes to watch, but his information is amazing. So she was talking about, Danielle talked about the attraction marketing and she talked about the invite strategy. So a lot of this information is not directed towards Beachbody. Like I said, Bob Helig is kind of across the board with network marketers. But the biggest thing she emphasizes, what moves your business. The things that she pinpointed that do not move your business are honestly running a challenge group does not move your business. Yes, after so many days, gaining a coach does, but immediately it does not. Posting on social media does not. It's attraction marketing. It exposes people, but it doesn't move it immediately. Chatting on your team page obviously does not move your business, and even wear and share. You might have people, say, oh my gosh, like, oh, I've heard of Shakeology, I've heard of this, but it doesn't really, nab them right then. So you have to ask the question, like, what do you want more of? Time, money, this is where your why comes in. But basically, attraction marketing can take up to 3 months or more for people to click. So this is where the invite process is so important. While you're doing the attraction marketing, yes, you're going to have people that you're forecasting down the road, but we have to invite now to get the immediate, customers. So what are the things that we typically do right now for our typical launches that we've always done? We use the Beachbody material, which is like the stock photos. Get rid of that, guys. Facting. Everything. I thought this was interesting. She mentioned facting where it was like, well, Quarter Force does this. Well, 21 Day Fix has the containers. Well, this and this and this. She says, do not give them the facts. They do not need to know every single detail of the program because what happens is it overwhelms them. And then they think, you know what? This is way too hard. I can't do this. Too hard for me. Repetitive blast of the program. Like it's interesting. It's a different way. Like with Danielle, what she's talking about is attraction marketing where yes, she's posting about Quarter Force, but she's posting about the moves that day. So it's not necessarily shoving Quarter Force in your face. She might say, hey, look at the new move I made today. And she takes a little video. But when you're constantly saying Quarter Force, Quarter Force, Quarter Force, they're going to be like, oh my God, like I am so sick of this chick like talking about this. Mass emails, don't even do it. They said it's all about personal. Even if you copy and paste the scripts, but do not do mass emails. And then, of course, conveniently weaving the new product into your combo. We do not need to talk about it, guys, 24/7. Allow people to ask you, especially like if you're outside, like in my neighborhood, they're on my Facebook page, but I have never talked to them about Beachbody, to be honest with you. Never. And I just don't feel like it's appropriate until they either ask me, or maybe, like I said, I'll do a personal invite, but in a different manner. And then Christine Dwyer uses number 6, says she uses FOMO, so fear of missing out. You don't have to be part or involved with every elite coach, or basically putting every little tidbit of information of the program, because you're going to fear that you're going to miss out on a prospect. You don't need to do that. And so she's basically said, how do you get over these? And this is where she did talk about personal development. You do have to change your verbiage and your mindset. The more you do it, the easier it gets. Okay, so her strategy for number 1 was, and again, very similar to Bob Helig, is talk less. This is something I've struggled with because I love to tell people information. So talk less, because it creates interest. And it creates you to be fearless too, because sometimes I think when we talk too much, we feel like we're salesy. So it takes the fear out of it. Do not mention the product or business. I meant to say opportunity. It said pop. I meant opportunity. And always use third-party tools. So if you're talking about the business opportunity, do not describe it in a paragraph. Use the videos that we have, that Beachbody has, and make sure they're quick, guys. Again, if we can find quick videos until they get deeper and they're like, okay, I'm ready to sign in, but I have all these list of questions, you might want to send them the 20-minute video that Christine Dwyer has. But for the most part, make sure that it's third-party tools. It's always better to talk in person or presentation. So that's why like our sneak peeks are great. So get people on there that they can get a sense of the community and people on the sneak peeks. And then of course, always set a time frame for follow-up. This was interesting too. She always says, watch out. She had a couple tips to watch out, because you might write this first email, they're super interested, and then you are vomit of the mouth. Don't do that. Still kind of creep around the topic, and it's interesting, but still do not divulge all the information. Ask more questions. And one of her scripts, this was the first script she used. It says, "Hey, Julie, I wanted to check back in with you to see if this time was any better for you to get started with such and such program. Here's the reason I'm reaching out. My company just launched one of the biggest products we have ever had. I've never been more excited about this product and my future." Now he mentions future a lot, because it gets them thinking like, wow, it's not just 21 days. It's not just this week. Talking about your future, how it can change your life. So if I gave you a free workout, would you do it? And she was emphasizing Beachbody on Demand. They all emphasize their free challenge groups as Beachbody on Demand. I believe that Danielle Natoni, the only free challenge group she does is Beachbody on Demand. That's what she kind of said, because it allows them to get a taste of the programs. You get their information. They're already considered your customer. And when they're ready to buy, you're going to get that. Get them going. Strategy number 2 was a market research. Hey, Dana, I know you're not interested in the product, but I need your help. The company just launched one of the biggest products we've ever had, and I'm really excited. They're actually looking for me to do some market research. I need people I can trust that will give me an honest opinion. Now, this is great. They mentioned when you have them sign up for Beachbody on Demand prior to a sneak peek. and then say, okay, today's the day, try the sneak peek. Let me know what you think. But in the meantime, they're going to see all the other programs, and kind of get them interested that way. Strategy number 3 is your hot market, like your family, close friends, husband, maybe wife. Hey, so-and-so, I need 5 to 10 people that I can trust, not to become my customer, but to test market a new product that we have for 30 days. And give me some honest feedback. Would you be willing to try this new product and compare it to what you're currently using and give me feedback on what you think? Doing this will help me tremendously because your feedback will really help me in understanding and in marketing this product. Now, again, you can shake this, guys. They're saying 30 days. It could be a 5-day. I would stick with shorter, maybe a 5-day free challenge, maybe a 14-day or the sneak peek. But again, just another script. Number 4 is talking more about the business opportunity. She mentioned, if you're nervous to talk to people, tell them. She said it just gets that fear off you. Be honest and say, hey, look, I have been really nervous to bring this up to you, but I just can't pass you up because I think you'd be a great coach. But I didn't want to come off, you word it however you want. But she says to talk to them about how you're scared. Again, don't mention the product. And this one was about, hey, so-and-so, I wanted to check in with you and see how you liked the products. This is more for customers. So you want to emphasize if they like their products. My company just launched. It kind of the same meat of the script that he said before, but at the end, they go into, have you ever considered, doing another program or joining us for a challenge group with your experiences with the products and what you just shared with me. The business opportunity. That's what I'm talking about. Have you ever considered becoming a coach? Because with your experiences with the products and what you just shared with me on your amazing results, that you literally could start getting paid for doing just that. Sorry for the typos, guys. I wrote this up kind of quick. Strategy number 5, this is the last one, you guys, is change up your images. So you might be saying the same thing, and you could be doing it throughout the week, but make sure you have a different image and yourself. People purchase outcomes, not the product or service. So do not talk about the features. Don't mention that even like it's a martial arts program. You don't need to mention that. You need to describe. You can even use descriptions from the past products of how it affected your life, or how you're excited because you want to work on your core. You want to get your kicks higher. You want to, yoga retreat, be more flexible. Talk about how it's going to make them feel than what it does. And then I love how she says everyone has a reality A, but desires a reality B. So basically, like, reality A is what they're feeling right now. So yeah, they might feel yucky and stuff, but they're kind of like, I can get through it. I'm okay. So you've got a form to make them realize how they could feel. Like, yeah, you're sitting on a couch, you complain that nothing's changed, but form it like, imagine this. Imagine your life in 90 days, in 60 days or whatever. And a lot of this is what Anne had mentioned earlier. It's that whole why, painting a picture for them, being personal, and just really making them feel about how their life can change rather than just stating how it can change. And then how can you tell if you're being effective? And basically it's by the likes and engagements. So that is what I got out of Atlanta Super Saturday. It was awesome. I know I've been to Super Saturdays in small towns and then in large towns. No matter what, guys, go to your Super Saturdays, because there's four times a year. That's it, 4 times a year. And the reason I like them is because they come at the perfect time. Usually I'm at a lull, or, you know, sometimes you're like, God, I'm alone in this business. I'm the only one. I'm in my house doing it. You know, you're not in an office with people. And sometimes you just need to be with like-minded people and realize, oh my gosh, like they're all doing it. And then I love when they mention like, you know, where people are at in their business, if they're Emerald coaches or 1-star or whatever. And then you're able to talk to them and see, how did they get there? And who knows, you might find your success partner there too. You never, ever know. So anyway, guys, that's the scoop.
Thank you so much, you guys. I was taking, instead of trying to scramble and write all your stuff down, Cheri, I was taking pictures.
Yeah, see, that's why I felt like I had to do the thing tonight with the presentation.
Woo! Don't do it. But a lot of that information was that same when you told me to listen to Bob Healig's podcast on 40 sales and marketing strategies for new launch or new product launches. That's the same. So that it would be good to go back and listen to that again. Wow. That's cool. I wonder if we get him to speak at Platinum Edge. That would be awesome.
I think that's probably what she's going to be working on, because she was like, it was verbatim what he said.
Yes,
of course,
it was.
She put her spin on it, like as far as, you know, her experiences. And I can tell you this, guys, too. The thing about Christine that was so awesome is that she told us that her business doesn't stop. Everyone thinks she's the big wig with her biggest team in Beachbody. You know what? She only hit Success Club 5 in October.
Oh, see? It's so good to hear that, because, oh my gosh, they struggle. There was one time I was listening to Meg, and she was talking about how she was freaking out because it was the middle of the month that she was at Success Club 1. I made it. I made it by the skin of my teeth last night. I made it by the skin of my teeth. Greg challenged me to just have faith that our God is bigger than Success Club. And I kid you not, we were out trick-or-treating, 8 p.m. My customer finally saw his email, and he said, I made my purchase. And I was like, whoa. So only by the grace of God did I make Success Club 6 last month at 8 p.m. Oh my gosh. So yeah, it's good to hear that they struggle too, because it's not a cakewalk. You don't get to a certain level and say, oh, I just get to coast now. It's not true.
Yeah, and she says it's harder because she feels like it's harder because so many people know Beachbody. And you know, she gets all the objections we do too. And she says she has months that are really tough as well. And what happened to her was Platinum Edge. She said that, you know, she had platinum, wasn't it in September? It was some September, right? And so that month, because of all the planning she did, she's like, I couldn't really work on my business. And then it reflected the month after. But at the same time, that's what she's saying. You really have to keep going because no matter what level you are, it can fall apart easily too. But, you know, she says you just get right back onto it, and that's what she's doing. And she did mention that Platinum Edge is going to be in November next year because of this. Actually, she's planning it a little differently because she realizes October is a very tough month, and she's shifting it. So I don't know, but that's what she said. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I have like all these notes that I took. I'm like, I don't even know if some of them make sense because I was trying to write so fast. So this was really good, you guys. Thank you so much for sharing your nuggets and your tidbits and everything that you guys learned from going to these events. I missed Super Saturday because I was traveling. So it was good to hear, you know, some training. So that's really interesting. It really is. So thank you so much, you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yes. You guys have a great night, and I'll get this uploaded as soon as it's done kind of downloading and whatever. I'll put it to my YouTube and put a link in the Facebook group. So, all right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye.